So wait a minute. Pat Smear played in the Germs, right? And the Germs were Darby Crash, wasn't it? Caught in My Eye, Lexicon Devil, right? That was Pat Smear. He played some good guitar on that. I don't think he played that stuff. He doesn't seem like he'd be up to that ability level. But the Germs are fast. It's good stuff. What was it like with Darby? That's what I'd ask him. Am I thinking of the right band? The Germs. Yeah. Wasn't that Darby Crash? I don't know. There are people that have fetishes like that. I used to think they were weird until I got much older. I hope this doesn't piss anybody off. This is going to piss people off. Okay. If people have fetishes, I think Cobain had a crab fetish. I do. Which is no big deal. People are people. It's just complex and noteworthy because that guy looks like a federal agent. It's complex and noteworthy because that's an elaborate kink. If he did, a lot of people do. I don't know how it works. You can't really wiki that shit either. But I have my fetishes. People have theirs. I'm just thinking if in fact, which is probably not a fact. I got a lot of free time. I'm speculating Cobain's stomach problems came from feces. A lot of people have speculated before me. I think it was. Then again, it could be just code word for his drug addiction. But since somebody brought it up, since somebody brought it up about fetishes, I think that might have been one of his. And one would think to themselves, they'd be like, geez, that seems like an advanced kink. How do you get to that place? That's a good question. People are people, and their kinks are strange, and sometimes people don't know where they come from. And isn't that serious liability to say shit like that? I'm just speculating. It's not a big deal. Maybe he didn't. I have no idea about his sex life. I'm just thinking about all the shit I've read. And, you become an expert on the subject. That's some serious Dom shit. You know what I'm saying? I want you to crap on my fucking... Oh, John, what's his fucking name? John McAfee. How did John McAfee get to the place where he wants people to defecate on his face? Now, he was a ladies... Let's not make a mistake. He was a ladies' man. I mean, it seems so. You don't know. I'm thinking McAfee might have been a genuine perversion where he got to that place, whereas Cobain had a sexual development with that, if in fact he did, which I don't know he did. I'm just saying. A lot of men do. It's interesting. I could be totally fucking crazy too, but never mind Cobain. I'm saying, for now, let's talk about John McAfee. It's interesting. You're like, were you always like that? Like what? Well, was that always your kink? How did you get there? I'm just curious. I'm not judging you. And John would tell me, he'd be like, well, it probably started early on. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Maybe it didn't. But it's great, isn't it? These men are so complex, some of them. Cobain put the fuck on, though. Yeah, he did. He left his impression. Put the fuck on here. Give the world Francis. Like, wow, you put out all those records. You did that in my day. I seen you do that. Then you give birth to. Then you marry her. And then you give birth to that. Wow. And you see that? Did you see that bitch sing though? She sings. She sings better than her father. I mean, her father sang really fucking good. Don't give me some credit. But I'm saying, if you got to listen to that bitch sing, it's like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You're so good, it's ridiculous. But what else? Oh, and who was offended about? The dwarf people? It's true. We used to play. I hope I got some minutes left. We used to play freak shows with fire eaters, dwarves, people that would drive nails through their dick. We play them in the club. I don't know how you insure that shit. Don't ask me. But we did the Jim Rose circus. We got people from that sometime to come, and this one guy was balancing a lawnmower on his face, and I was just so drunk at QE2, and I'm like, I can't believe this. And there's midget people running around, and they were playing Willy Wonka, and there's no telling which way we are going as the rowers keep rowing. And the film is, and Willy Wonka's going off, and you've seen the dwarves, and I'm like, wow. We opened up for that? That's the shit I opened up for. And you know what? With Kristen Pfaff, I just remembered another thing too. Is that I'm wondering, because in my day, the girls that would come to the show too would dress like that. They would dress like her, or maybe she was imitating us and we were imitating her, or she was imitating the culture and we were both imitating the culture. But yeah, I remember that little bitch that was in Smashing Pumpkins. I totally forgot that. Oh, I would have banged the shit out of her. I bet you Karren was. That's what I've been doing. But I mean, it's great to have girls because, you know, it opens up the market really big. And then you become whether or not you are or not, you become a sexy band and you give sex back. There's just no, it fucks with the mind. It's a good way of, there was always girl bass players, I remember, and girl drummers too. Yeah, there was a girl drummer that played for the Hudson Falcons that I played with that I could not believe. She was so fucking good. She did it like karate, and she was just, and it's like, I can't believe you beat those drums like that. And then I seen Marky Ramone, and then he was just hitting so hard. It was ridiculous. I seen Joe Image play when I was in the Undead, and he would play his hi-hat behind me so fucking hard that there'd have to be a roadie that would come out and push his hi-hat back. Because he would just push it across the stage. And it was going like this. In Albany, I was like, what the fuck are we doing up here? And you just turn around and you're like, who is this? Because you see the shadow like that on the wall of somebody running back and forth, and you're like, it's the roadie pushing his hi-hat back. He's pushing it across the stage. Yeah. And what is it? The little people? I haven't fallen in love with a dwarf yet. Maybe I would. I doubt it. You'd have to be one hell of a dwarf. The problem with dwarfism is that they get the face, and the face looks uniform, and then across the board, you have that uniform face. That's what Willy Wonka was getting at. You know, he wasn't trying to put them down or put them under a microscope. He's just saying you're little people, and little people tend to have this face. You know, and it lacks individuality. You know, you never seen a little person, like a Matt Roloff type person with a big fucking nose, have you? Or like a big chin. No, they all have the features that resemble fucking dwarfism. Look at that. Never mind the daylight. What is it? It's awesome. Yeah, big chain. It don't matter though. Those days are gone. Yes, there was Riot Girls too. There might have been one in your neighborhood, but they did exist. It's just called the Lesbian College Girl. That's your Riot Girl. Lesbian college girl, play the frat party, drink beer all fucking night, yeah. That's what it was about. I get so drunk and I fucked a dude. You did not, you bitch. I'm breaking up with you. I know, it was an accident. I got drunk and I fucked a dude. He's gonna play guitar for us in a minute. Yeah, dude. Some of the best guitars in the world are attributed to the guy from Bikini Kill. Dig him up. Somebody do that. He was the one of the greatest guitar players ever in the world, I think, wasn't he? The guy who played for Bikini. I mean, it's easy to dismiss Bikini Kill, but those guitars there were like the greatest guitars I've ever heard in my life. I think. I think that when I lived my life, it took me my life till I heard Reject All American. I was like, that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, that guy. I can't believe I can't think of his name, but I'll put it in the title. Probably the greatest guitar in the world. That and Frankie Coma from the Misfits. And Bobby Steele, of course. It's all that sound. Panic guitar! A fucking machine gun. Wing and wing. Even with wrists that go up and down like I do too. I alternate. But you get Bobby Steele and it still sounds like machine gun or chainsaw. You're like, wow! With the John Lennon chords. That's what it was. Go listen to that record and tell me that that's not the greatest guitar in the goddamn world. Knocks Pete Townsend right the fuck out.